just having fun in complete control all night long against an extremely game and tough and willing Steve Claggett.
Let me mute this. I am actually not live real time. It's the next day, about 12 hours later. This fight was last night on June the 29th. Well, actually, it was after midnight. I don't understand why they do this to us, where they put these fights on so late at night, especially when you had UFC on the same night. For example, the BAM fight, Rodriguez versus Juan Francisco Estrada, didn't end. I'm talking about the final bell before, actually round 7 was 1:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, how does that help anybody? But anyway, let me say this. I was trying to find the state of boxing here. Let me show you this. Let me tell you exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't know what's going on with ESPN Plus. It's a how can I say? It's smooth. I haven't had any issues. I've heard about when you buy pay-per-views, you're not able to buy through UFC. I've never had those issues ever. You know, I don't remember. I did purchase one boxing pay-per-view from here. What was it? Sean Porter, Amir Khan? I mean, not Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford. I don't remember. But I've never had any issues. But what I do have an issue with is stuff like this. For example, let's go down to boxing. Where we at? We're in boxing. And we're going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez. But look, I'm trying to watch the post-show because I was watching UFC at the time, so I couldn't really watch it. But then you go to play it. So what they do, and look, it's just an ad. So let me tell you what they do, which infuriates me. In order to watch the post-fight interview, you have to switch from the ESPN bro. So if you're watching on regular ESPN at home, you have to log into your ESPN Plus app. If you're watching through cable or dish on just, ESPN traditional way, you have to log in through to your app or your ESPN Plus, however you watch it, to watch the post-fight interview and the post-fight content. Burns me the fuck up. And now here I am the next morning, or well, it's almost 1 p.m., trying to watch it, and you can't. So now I got to go to the top-ranked ESPN page on YouTube, which doesn't have the state of boxing, because a lot of times, surprisingly, you get a lot of good intel from those state of boxing broadcasts with Joe Tessitore, Tim Bradley. In this case, they had Joe Tessitore, Chris Algieri, and by the way, I like Chris Algieri on commentary. He's been good for several years now. And who else did they have? I forgot. Oh, Bernardo Sona. So let me back up. How have you guys been? I have not given up on boxing. For those who don't know, or if you've noticed, over the last several years, I've been somewhat inconsistent. I've been living life. I put in a lot of time on YouTube. I started on YouTube back in 2010. I was doing about maybe 3 videos a year or so at that point in time. And then 2013 was when I started taking things really seriously. 2 channels equating to about 160,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for a long time. So I apologize if the last couple of years, especially, really since COVID, I've been inconsistent, because before COVID, I was at a lot of events. I'm talking about an event monthly, traveling all over the country. So once COVID hit, I started living and, got all my personal issues in order. Well, I guess I want to say is, I have a love for boxing again. And I do, despite me not producing content, I still sit here and watch all of these cards. But I plan on producing content, and my podcast is coming back. So I've been rebuilding and rebranding things over the last few weeks, because my brand is unorganized like a motherfucker. It is all over the place. From the podcast, from the websites, from the team, from the social media accounts. I have a huge platform that I don't use to the fullest of my potential. And now that I'm a 40-year-old man, trying to start a family and, got a child, I'm not going to be just doing this for my health. So thank you for bearing with me. And I'm back in the field. Shout out to Donnell. Shout out to Big J. Shout out to Mikey. Shout out to OJ. Shout out to Rome. So thank you for bearing with me. But anyway, so as I was saying, to listen to the Teofimo interview, you got to go, and even to listen for the cards to be read, right? So they're showing highlights. And you, listen, 3 minutes left. Let me see if they're going to read them on here. Let me see. Because it's ridiculous. Now, I'm watching through Hulu because it's just ridiculous. I have the ESPN triple play. I have every damn app. I'm not going to lie to you. I have every app. Like, just to show you, here's all my movies. Like, this is just a little bit of those, the main ones. So what was I doing? Let's see if they read the cards. Okay, so that's Mark Kriegel's card. Let's turn it up and listen in. Let's just do it that way.
And he did get touched tonight.
As you can see, shut out. But I'm going to give my thoughts on the fight.
Good night of work.
Well, actually, the music.
Lopez.
So let's see. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see if they read the cards.
Junior welterweights has changed
Or if they're going to make us switch to the state of boxing, which is not available.
Yeah, 2 months ago, it was a completely different face on this division.
By the way, you notice about Teofimo's, he fights to the competition. You know, you never know which Teofimo is going to show up. One night, he's a fucking superstar. The next night, you know, oh, and by the way, he didn't have a bad night tonight. And he landed the most punches he's ever landed in a fight. So he was high volume. A lot of people are going to give him shit because he didn't knock out Steve Claggett, who I still can't wrap my head around. Like, okay, why is he fighting Steve Claggett? In this day and age and era of boxing, this is a mid-card, undercard fight, especially with what the Saudis are doing. So, let's listen in. They're actually going to do it.
Rounds here inside the James L. Knight Center in Miami, Florida. We go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision.
So look at this. Then notice how it says here 1 minute left in this stream here in this broadcast.
Lisa Giampa and Efre Lebron have it 120-108. Steve Weisfeld has it 119-109. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBO Ring Magazine Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez!
Folks, we invite you to
See, look, listen.
go over to the ESPN app, ESPN Plus, for the state of boxing starting right now to hear from Teofimo Lopez and all the analysis on this fight.
Okay, so as I told you, you can go over to ESPN Plus to watch the State of Boxing show. That's 13 minutes, 25 seconds. And I even tried to watch it through Hulu. So if you have Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney, you can actually go through Hulu, you know, and watch all the stuff. But it's just a dead video. It's a dead video. You got to do better. Look, and it's just an ad. Look, just 4 seconds. It's a dead video. So let's go listen to Teofimo's post-fight interview from the Top Rank page. Obviously, for those who sometimes, I don't get him as much anymore, but every now and then I get fans who bitch and moan to me, oh, why won't you just show the whole thing? Well, that's copyright infringement, okay? You know, and Top Rank sometimes, you know, very delicate, you know, relationship, you know, but they will let me know if I'm using too much content, you know, so I can't just go showing the shit. And also, come on, man, it's motherfucking 2024. If you don't know how to watch, let me stop. I just been ranting.
The other belts that he's earned over the years. And Teofimo, as you get some water, your thoughts on tonight's performance, Teo?
Oh, man, first and foremost, this glory goes to God, Jesus. I
Jesus
thank you
Christ.
so very much. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being with me in battle tonight. First and foremost, that's what I do. I get everything, every win. I send it back to the love that matters the most.
Wait a minute, hold on. It's no longer Riyadh season. Well, it kind of is all year round, but let me do this real quick. There we go. All right. That was when I was over at Fury Usyk. This is my Fury Usyk outfit. There we go. All right, now we got to bring me back. There we go. There we go. Look at me looking good. All right, we're back.
and that's God. So,
Oh, shout out to His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. There you go.
but what can I say? I knew exactly what kind of fighter this guy was. Maybe you guys don't know, but I sure as hell knew. He's going to come forward and test my conditioning. And that's what we had today. We went 12 rounds.
Did you like that pace? I mean, you set records for your most punches thrown, most punches landed. Yes, you landed 315 of 946. You landed 175 more punches than he did, threw 126 more punches. What was that pace like?
That's
So am
impressive.
I like in the 500 club like Claggett?
No, he's 315. You're a little bit off 185.
Hey, 315. Nah, I love it. 3 crosses. But to go to it, man, I'm just very grateful, really. You know, he's a tough fighter. I don't think anyone should overlook him. I knew that coming into this. See, everybody is talking about these other fighters that I just feel like I'm not interested in. I want to fight. Look at this. Look what we gave the fans out here, you know? Let's go, guys. Hey. Shout out to Broward County. Shout out to Dade County. Shout out to all the Floridians. I came out here to support Teofimo to take over. Yeah.
So you didn't have to find him. You knew exactly where he was. That allowed you to show off your counter-punching skills. How do you think he did with your power?
I think he did good, you know. He handled himself. I think this was just a battle of who wants it more, you know, and that's why I like underdogs like him. It reminds me of the time when I was facing these champions, and that's what we need. We need that push. We need that push, and that's what great champions do. They stay there. They don't quit. They don't say no mas. They say let's go.
Well, you said let's go at 135. You said let's go at 140. What is next for you? What do you want? Who do you want?
To be real, like, I'm going to be frank with you guys. I feel like this weight cut and everything, my body's growing.
Oh, no.
And although it doesn't look like I can handle my own at 147, I believe I can. I truly believe I can. And I want these great champions. Hey, whoever it is, whatever it is, the takeover, we don't dodge nobody. I just want the best, and I want to fight the best so I can collect more legacy, more legacy. That's what it's all about. The glory. The glory, that's what champions are about. I don't want to hear fighters saying that the belts don't matter no more. Teofimo's still here. It matters a lot more.
All right, thank you very much, Teofimo. I know that they have something for you here. The city of Miami has something special for you.
They give
Oh, my goodness. Hey, I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you very much. To everyone that's dealing with any emotional problems, listen to me. I was there. I'm 26. I'm still learning through this process. But I just want you to know something, guys. God is in us. He's in us. Find it within yourself. Love yourself. Hug the person that's next to you right now. Tomorrow's never promised.
Rick Ciara presenting you the keys to the city.
All right, so let's talk about this. So already he's ready to move to 147. That is now Ryan Garcia. Whenever he returns, he's a fucking head case suspended. You know, that guy's on my shit list at the bottom of it. Devin Haney's talking about moving to 147. Teofimo 147. Josh Taylor's on his way to 147. But we all seen this coming, right? I just didn't think it was going to happen so soon. And all these guys are talking about, the weight. Nah. So let's talk about Mr. Steve Claggett. Coming into the fight, 38-7 with 2 draws, 26 KOs. High volume pressure fighter. From Canada, 35 years old, but let's face it, you know, I'm just going to believe that they couldn't find a better opponent for Teofimo. That's what I believe. You know, somebody that was going to accept the fight. He was offered the fight with Ryan Garcia at one point in time in the Spear, but I believe he turned it down because the money was too low. And then Ryan went on to fight Devin Haney, and we know what happened with that. So Teofimo, if you notice a pattern here, he looked like gold against Richard Comey after looking like shit against Masayoshi Nakatani. Goes on to beat Lomachenko and then loses to George Kambosos. Goes to beat up Pedro Campa, then goes on to Sandor Martin and asking himself if he still got it. Goes and fights Josh Taylor. Looks like a superstar again. Goes to fight Jermaine Ortiz, and then he starts talking like the Ultimate Warrior, just a whole bunch of nothing in the post-fight interview. Then Steve Claggett looks pretty. It's not a bad performance. He dominated. It's just that we would expect it for him to knock out a guy like Steve Claggett, but you know he just couldn't. That's what people are complaining about. But he fought high volume, accurate punching, landed the most he's ever had in his career, threw the most he's ever had in his career. So we know he got it in the tank. That's a positive. But what's next? Because now it's got to be a big fight. And by the way, shout out to him for handling, and hopefully it's all taken care of, the personal demons that he was dealing with. Because, and also, you know how these boxers are. No disrespect, but a lot of them be just saying some crazy ass shit sometimes. They all do. Even me. So, and I'm not a boxer. But let's go look at the division here. 140, I'm guessing that's going to be Isley, Cruz, and Alberto Puyo and Liam Paro's division, because now guys like Teofimo, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia are not even talking about, staying in the division. Jack Catterall is going to be there, probably going to take, he's fighting Regis Prograis. How about that? Regis Prograis still there, and you got Richardson Hitchens. So realistically, now that Teofimo, if he's going to be gone, if Devin Haney's gone, Isley Cruz is the number one. I always had faith in Liam Paro. Number two, we got Sandor Martin in the mix. Alberto Puyo, you got to give him his, I don't know. I need to, before I start saying some shit, let me get some time before I give my top 140 pounders. That don't include Teofimo, Devin Haney. But the division is still in good hands. Still a lot of good fights to be made. And it's still a division that can have an undisputed champion without too many politics. Now that we see that Isley Cruz is fighting on the Saudi cards, which has ties with Matchroom and Top Rank and PBC. So we can see an undisputed champion again. But I would hope that Teofimo would want to stay in the division. But moving to 147 is just kind of, it's the new blood is what I call it. Terrence Crawford is pretty much going. You might as well say he's going once August the 3rd gets here. I don't see him going back down to 147. So you got Brian Norman, the WBO, Boots Ennis taking on David Evernessian. July 13th in Philly. You got Amanis Stanionis, who's a free agent, by the way, WBA. Mario Barrios, the WBC, who Manny Pacquiao was trying to fight. So add Devin Haney in a year, add Ryan Garcia maybe if he gets his shit together, but he's going to need a whole lot of help. And then Teofimo, there's some big fights to be made there, but as it stands right now, it's you got Mario Barrios, Stanionis, Boots Ennis. And what we're noticing is all three of those, we can have an undisputed at 147 again. With PBC now lending their fighters out because of lack of dates on their end outside of Amazon Prime dates, it's not too politically regulated like it used to be. But another thing I don't like is Teofimo, made some comments. Basically, people still going to watch anyway. I hate when boxers talk like that. If I look good or not, you're still going to want. He's saying he's Bob Burnham's last superstar available. I mean, one thing about Top Rank is they definitely are in that. They got a lot of prospects and some fringe contenders, but they're definitely in that rebuilding phase. Like a basketball team, NBA team or a football team, any type of sports team, they're in a rebuilding. They got the young talent, the draft picks, and the prospects, But right now, nothing for regular TV to really move the needle. And when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, I got a lot to talk about that next week because I just feel that a lot of the stuff he's been saying about Top Rank is unjust, especially when they gave him a big ass push his last fight, and he shit the bed. It's not their fault. He just didn't fight, a fight for a big week like they had in Vegas on a Thursday night. He was supposed to show up, and I just don't understand why he's blaming them. But it is what it is. I don't have any issue with Teofimo Lopez's performance. If I had my wish, I would like to see him fight Isley Cruz, if they put that on one of those Saudi cards. Or, a pay-per-view, because Isley Cruz is becoming a star. That could be its own event, on ESPN. As far as Sandor Martin, Liam Paro, not really there yet. Don't really move the needle. Arnold Barboza and And Jose Ramirez is supposed to be fighting, so I forgot to mention them earlier. But I think the only real, unless he's collecting belts, the only real super fight that they can make at 144, Teofimo, we're talking about super fight. Don't get me wrong, a fight with Arnold Barboza, Jose Ramirez, they would be fun fights. A fight with Richardson Hitchens, depending on how he looked against, no matter how he looked against Gustavo Lemos, that would be a fun fight. Liam Paro would be a fun fight. Subriel Matias, they was in talks at one point in time. That would be a fun fight. Sandor Martin, you want that? You want to see that? You want to see that? Yeah. But the Isak Cruz is the only real super fight there. See, did I miss any guys at 135? I'm not mentioning Tank. It ain't happening. So 147, it's an intriguing story because the power of Teofimo is questioned now at 140. So I think he should stay in that division, a couple of more fights, if not try to, go undisputed. But once you go up to 147, I'm not quite sure about him because you have a lot of seasoned, fighters up there that are also bigger than him, unless he tries to go after Brian Norman, which is that kind of low-hanging fruit right now. To say, all right, I'm a 3-division world champion, 135, 140, and 147. With that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Stay tuned to my social media accounts for some big news coming up and some advancements, especially going into the month of July. Follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy. The links to all my social media are down below in the description box. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.